Welcome to this week's NCPreps report. As you can see, we got three of us. Chris will be joining us later for the football. We push football to the back end of the show, so Chris will be able to join us for that. And Tally and Brianna are both out with sporting events. So I'm just going to open this up to Dina or Chelsea. Dina, you kind of have a little bit more experience in the media. So with me, Chelsea, Tally, and Brianna all be playing sports. You played college sports yourself. Talk about the benefits of somebody in sports media can have that played sports when they were in high school or college, the experiences that they can have that can help them become a better person in sports media.
Well, first of all, you'll understand the game, the language of the game, by playing in the sports, you'll know, the ins and outs. And basically, that's a good quality to have since you've already, let's say, now I obviously I didn't play football, but I was around football all my life. And, Coach Holt up here at Starmount begged my mom to let me play, kick field goals. And my mom was like, no, Coach Holt, Dina's future's in basketball. And I fell 2 months later, tore my ACL.
Oh.
And then all my D1 interests left back. So I ended up signing with D2 with Wingate. And but yeah, I mean, playing the game, being around the game helps a lot of people.
Yeah,
I think just building connections, you have coaches that know coaches, people that know people. So it's always nice to have, connections to reach out to people to interview or go to games or just, get into those events that you want to.
Yes, great point. And also there's whenever you get into high sports media, knowing what it's like to be in a locker room with your teammates and stuff like that, I think is a great skill to have. So you kind of have the perspective of knowing what being on a winning team is like and what being on a losing team is like and kind of what those teams are going through. So I think it's very good that all of us are playing sports, as I think it'll help us in our future careers. So have started. Boy, has it been exciting. These regionals were one of the best. The state semifinals were just as good. The state finals were, yes.
Well, you got a lot of basketball going up there at the Hoosier State. I don't know if you know that I helped with the Tar Heel Illustrated site, the rival site for UNC, and our publisher was up there, and he got to basically when Carolina got beat out, he had some extra days, and he rode up to Wisconsin, Madison, Milwaukee, and he come back by Southern Illinois, and he stopped by Terry Haight, I believe, and to see Indiana State, and got a nice photo of Mr. Larry Bird standing right there. So great basketball, and a great state to hold the NCAA tournament at.
Yes, for sure. And the first two sports that we're going to kind of touch on first are two sports that are currently moving into state championships this weekend. First, we have lacrosse. So, girls lacrosse right now, and the East regionals the games are, I'm pretty sure, being played tonight for winners go to state championship. It's Wake Forest versus East Chapel Hill, and then Weddington versus Charlotte Catholic. And since not a lot of schools have women's lacrosse, it's only one classification, so it's 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A. All of them put into one, so there's only one state champion. And then boys, there's two state champions, one with 1A, 2A, and 3A in it. And the Eastern and Western teams fighting for a state champion spot are Topsail versus East Chapel Hill, and then Marvin Ridge versus Weddington. And then 4A has their own classification, which is Huff versus Lake Norman, and then Cardinal Gibbons versus Holly Springs. So lacrosse is kind of a sport in North Carolina that's on the come up. It's starting to become more popular around the state. I haven't got a chance to watch it myself, but Chelsea, I know you went to a game and got an interview. So, and you play lacrosse, so just kind of think about what you like about it and what about lacrosse makes it special.
I'll be honest, lacrosse, it's not a sport that I've played my whole life. I just started it last year, freshman year. And this is my first year varsity, but it definitely is a sport that's on the come up. More and more teams are building complete teams, varsity and JV, and just it's getting that new recognition that other sports would. And then I got an interview with our Sanderson boys attack, Nick Pamilio and Henry Black. Both are just a great duo on the field. Henry Black recently surpassed the 200 career high school goals, which is a huge mark. And then I want to say Nick is second in captain scoring and Henry is third. And then I also want to say Henry is 12th in assists, which is super high considering the Cap 7's a really strong conference. Yeah. And then we had a boys versus girls scrimmage. So in the interview, if my voice is a little ran out, I just got off the field. But they whooped us a bit. But I was able to catch an interview with them.
Awesome. All right.
Welcome back to the Rundown with Chelsea Sipple from NCPreps. I'm here with 2021 men's varsity lacrosse senior Henry Black and 2023 Nick Pamilio, an attack duo. So my first question is, Henry, coming off a 4-year varsity and Nick 2 years, each talk about how you've seen the Sanderson team develop just over this time.
We're one of the worst teams in the conference pretty much. Then we got some good players coming in, especially in my class, and we just grew the team. And we won we got pretty close to some games like Leesville and Millbrook. We beat them.
We were definitely, we went from being low level, everyone was expecting to beat us, to fighting for that second seed. It was just a lot of off-season work, too, that we put in. The team was committed to it.
Awesome. And then, Nick, I know you're second in scoring and you're third according to MaxPreps, and you're also second in assists. So each describe your gameplay and how y'all connect on the field together.
We kind of just because we throw around a lot off-season and we just have chemistry, so he knows to look for me off ball and he just throws it in there and he knows I'll finish it.
Awesome. And then what was the goal for Sanderson men's lacrosse this season, and how did you guys get at it in both games and practices?
The goal was to make playoffs the whole time. We didn't win the playoff game, but the main goal was just to make it. And we just worked hard in practice, did a lot of stuff outside of practice too that most teams didn't do.
Yeah, we just loved the game. The whole team wanted it bad, so we got it.
For sure. And then COVID obviously impacted high school sports, especially lacrosse with the season in February. And then just describe the adversity y'all went through and how y'all overcame that.
We didn't have any fall workouts with our coaches, so we did a lot of captain's practices and come here in the weekends and just shout with everybody and got everybody right for the season.
We had to deal with a lot of cancellations too because of rain and all that, so that kind of just had to help the team keep their head up and go through it.
Awesome. And finally, to each get to know you guys, aside from being an athlete for Sanderson, talk about what you like to do outside of lacrosse.
I like to fish. He fishes with me sometimes.
Yeah. We like to play pickup basketball a lot. That's like a big thing for the team.
We like the locker box.
Locker box is big.
Yeah.
I love music personally. Most of the team does. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you guys for this interview. Again, this is Henry Black, class of 2021 at Sanderson Men's Lacrosse, and Nick Pamilio, class of 2023, Sanderson Men's Lacrosse.
Awesome. And last thing to touch on for lacrosse, Dina, when you were coming up through high school, y'all didn't really have lacrosse around here. It's been a while in some of the big cities around the country, but just talk about where you see the future of lacrosse. I mean, it's definitely a growing sport around Raleigh, Charlotte, Wilmington, and it's definitely grown over the past 5 to 10 years. Where do you think it's going to be in the next 5 to 10 years?
I expect it to keep growing. I mean, it looks like everything kind of started around the Raleigh and probably the big cities, Raleigh and Charlotte, with those teams, you know, being accustomed to I don't know if you call them country club sports, you know, sports like that. But I'm just going to say, when you was running down them teams, Weddington, are they going to win everything? You mentioned Weddington. Weddington's name comes up with everything. Great sports program down there in Union County. But I think we had a question about our state tournament. Our state tournament wrapped up like 2 weeks ago. So we're in the week 5 of football season here in North Carolina. So we got kids playing football, baseball, soccer, lacrosse,
golf,
softball, golf, track and field, cross country. Is that happening? We got.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Everything's playing except volleyball and wrestling and basketball, maybe.
Yeah. Basketball ended 2 weekends ago, and it's crazy to me, like me kind of being into the basketball world more than any other sport. Like the AAU season has already started. Like, it's year round. It's crazy. Like they didn't even give a break for anything.
We don't have no break.
I
mean, you look at this like football season, week 5, state championships are over in, I think, the first week in May, and then we kind of have a break, if you call it a break, and then they start back in August. So I know there's been some concern about, you know, these players playing so many football games in this amount of time. So we'll have to see how that affects these kids, but you know, they're young. I think the main thing is biggest thing is the governor increasing the limit to 50% this Friday. So he's made a lot of high school fans happy, you know, especially at some of these diehard schools where, you know, that 1,000 tickets will go like hotcakes, you know, at some of these places. So
it's pretty crazy.
Good to see some more people getting to come and support their teams.
And our frequent guest, Stevie Trivette. How are your brackets? I'm gonna say
mine is.
I think mine, like everybody else's, was pretty bad. Is pretty bad.
As soon as Oral Roberts won.
Well, I mean, my team's still in it. That I picked to win it. I guess.
Yeah, me too.
I picked Gonzaga. That was a tough one, but you know, I had them losing to Oklahoma. I had them beating Oklahoma State. I had Texas going to the Final Four. So,
2 of my 4
Christian ruined my bracket, and you know, so.
Yeah, I had West Virginia making the Final Four, and then I had LSU coming out of the other bracket as kind of like my Cinderella story, and they almost beat Michigan. And I was looking so smart, and then they blew. Oh, Chris, you haven't watched about.
Well, Chris, they hadn't played since 2019.
Oh my gosh! Well, the Sweet 16 start
2019, right?
Yeah, they didn't have one last year. The Sweet 16 starts. Hey, there he is.
There he is.
You're
Can't
muted.
hear you. You muted?
Uh-oh. Well, the Sweet 16 starts Saturday, Chris. So it's kind of like a fresh start for everybody to start watching. So
Still can't
it looks
hear
like
you.
Chris is having some technical difficulties. So we'll go ahead and move right to soccer while Chris tries to figure out what's wrong with his mic. So soccer, they already crowned the regional champions. So the state champions are set for Saturday. 1A is Franklin Academy versus Pine Prep.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Verizon commercial.
And then Croatan versus High Brighton for 2A. New Hanover versus Weddington for 3A. 4A is Myers Park versus Cardinal Gibbons. So there we see Weddington again. And Weddington, so they had the longest winning streak in football in the state. They won the boys basketball state championship. They're in both lacrosse state championships, and they're in the men's soccer state championship. I mean, they've probably got to be the best sports high school in the state right now.
They're getting there. That's for sure.
Yeah. So, I got to go to the Eastern Finals for boys, Croatan versus Richlands, my home school, Richlands. It was the third time they've played, as they both are in the same conference. Richlands ended up losing. It was a tied game with about 10 minutes left to go in the game, 0-0. Croatan was able to score and break the game open. So I got to interview their coach, Coach Slater, at Croatan. So that is my interview, as they're head to the state championship for the first time in program history. All right, we're here with Coach from Coach Slater. You guys just got a win in the Eastern Regionals to move on to the state championship in the 2A men's soccer. This team is special, undefeated, 17-0. Just tell the people some of the keys to this team that have been able to keep this team undefeated.
This team is, what's special about them is their mentality, their ability to overcome obstacles. Having to deal with COVID, when we train, how long we train, conditions in the training. We have not given them any breaks, and we've just, their ability to adapt to all of that and then to come out to every game has been amazing.
Yeah, and some obstacles this year for every team has been COVID. Have you guys had any COVID problems, breaks, anything like that?
We did in the fall, and so we had 2 different times, 2 different players, and then also a bunch of quarantines along the way. But knock on wood, we've been very fortunate from January on. So hopefully we can get through Saturday with this group, because I want to play, and I know they do too.
Yeah, and moving forward into the state championship game, what are some things that you think you can improve on that will give you guys the best shot to win the state championship?
I think with that, playing in a state championship with everybody, there's always nerves. So as long as we can not let the moment be too big and accept, like, hey, we're playing a soccer game, kids will be fine. They'll do great.
Yeah, and last question, you have a special player in Travis Gardner-McGraw, almost an 80-goal season. Just what makes him so special that gives you you guys your X factor down the stretch? Today had to win the game.
He's relentless, absolutely relentless, and his desire to get down to the goal and to score is what sets him apart. So again, another mentality aspect. He's got his own with the goals. The others, just the way they play.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Coach, and good luck Saturday.
Thank you.
All right.
I didn't notice the wind was going to be that bad, but I expected it. Being at Croatan High School, the wind is always bad down there. So I'll go ahead and give Chris.
No, you're doing such a good job. I enjoyed sitting back watching you guys. We did get Stevie asking. He thought that I had lost my hosting job, and I probably should. And I responded to him. I told him I may be soon, because I'm about to move, so my schedule's about to be really, really haywire for the next month or two. So we'll see about that. But you guys are in capable hands with these other guys here. Well, man, we've exhausted all of our lacrosse and soccer and basketball chat. I guess there's only one other thing left to talk about.
What could that be?
So anyway, well, have y'all been doing good? Man, I'm just kind of catching up with you. I guess everybody's.
Yeah, it's been great. Spring break next week, so pretty happy about that. But
Spring
Richland
break for you as well, Chelsea.
It is.
Yeah.
Do we need to have a show, or we're going to have a show? I sent you guys a message. I don't know if you saw it, but next Wednesday I'll be on the Charlotte Observer on Wednesday, so we might need to move the show a day or two if y'all want.
Okay. We'll see. Yeah, that would probably be the best idea. But after spring break, we're going back full person. Everybody in person 5 days a week.
Good deal.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting experiment.
What about you, Chelsea? Are you going back?
I'm virtual all year. You know, Wake County has had so many ups and downs with this COVID in school. So,
but do you want to go back?
I was kind of chilling virtual. You know, get to do school where I want to and when I want to. But I miss friends. So junior year, I'll be in full time. But I'm just chilling online right now.
Yeah. Like my teenage stuff, like I love virtual. Like I can just sit at home, eat all day, and just like not have to pay attention all day, not have to over you.
Bad study habits.
But like my student stuff, like in-person school is a lot better. So
no kidding.
I am happy about that. So it's definitely going to be a good experience. I think it'll be. The only thing that I'm worried about is like the classes that have like 35 kids in them, 40 kids in them, trying to get everybody into the same classroom, still being what they now call 3 feet. So it'll be interesting.
Sure. The governor made an announcement, kind of tie into all this info with the raising, I guess, of the outdoor stadium limit. So Friday, it looks like we're going to be able to go up to 50%. Is that right?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I don't know if you heard earlier, we was kind of discussing that. I said a lot of these big time programs that have this huge following, they ain't going to fight tooth and nail to get a ticket. You know, those people in Cleveland County that love their football. I mean, they're going to let more people. So I think it's very positive, and we're moving into the really positive direction as long as people keep doing what they're supposed to do.
Oh, well, there we go. We got some more comments. Jack, are you going to Disney World on spring break?
Probably, definitely not.
Not? It's the most magical place on earth.
Yeah, I'm probably just going to chill at home.
I'm going to tell you, I interviewed a kid, and guess where he was at, and he did the interview.
Where?
He was on spring break, but he was in Cancun.
Oh, yeah. Good for him.
Little flex right
and
there.
it was pouring rain here, and he's like, I can't, you know, the weather here is just fabulous. So I was like, well, enjoy your spring break.
Absolutely. Oh, we already got that one there. We got this one here too. Croatan's Field is right on the water. Cold no matter the weather.
Yeah. She had to take me to that game. Pretty windy, cold. So.
No kidding. Yeah, I've been there. And you're right. It is right there on the water. Well, let's shift over to some football discussion. Just go ahead and throw up. We released them earlier in the week. Let's go ahead and just put the rankings back up there one more time. Here is our 1A power rankings coming up here for week 5 that we're in this week. Not a lot of changes. Mitchell moved up a spot in the 1A to 3rd. Everyone else kind of holding steady. Andrews is kind of sneaking up there. Mountain Island has taken a couple losses, but I still think they're one of the more talented teams in the state. Pine Lake Prep, Pine Lake Prep has a quarterback that had moved over from Huff High School. So I think that Pine Lake Prep is certainly a team that can do well. East Carteret had another win last night, Jack.
Payne. Well, they're definitely a very good team for 1A. So
They certainly are 3-0 now.
Yeah, definitely an underrated team out of the East.
Yep. Moving over to the 2A, Reedsville's still on top. You know, that's debatable. I've had a lot of people ask why Shelby beat the 3 team in Burns, and you never know. I'm going to go. Speaking of Shelby, I think I'm going with a few other guys. Saturday they play Kings Mountain on Saturday, so I may go there and get some Bridges barbecue.
Well, that is one of those games that they're glad they're getting 50% of the attendance in there, because every seat will be sold in that game.
Absolutely. Just some other Salisbury's dropped a couple close games, but they're still hanging tough. But you know, with the change in the playoff system, you got to wonder if they're going to make the playoffs now. They could, but I think it's starting to become a stretch. Mount Pleasant, Kinston, teams moving up. Let's just take a quick peek at the 3A. You mentioned Weddington guys. Mount Tabor moved up a spot. Mount Tabor had that win over Dudley, 2 powerhouses. Dudley didn't drop too much. Obviously Havelock, Rose, Cleveland is still up there. This week, you got number 5 Cleveland and number 16 Clayton going at it Friday night. So that'll be a big game. Eastern Alamance is on a pause right now through the COVID protocol. They're going to have about 3 games in the next 7 days starting next week.
Wow.
So that'll be a tough stretch for them. AC Reynolds had a really tough game Friday night, 13-12 victory over Asheville. And just take a peek at the 4A. Vance still holding strong, but we did move up Huff over Richmond County. And the more and more I see Huff, I do think Huff may be the second best team in the state. And they may, I'm not sure, but they may have something for Vance. We'll see here really soon. Everybody else kind of in spot. I heard you guys talking about it, but Rollsville and Wake Forest, they're going to go at it Friday night. So that's going to be a really big game. Chelsea, your Sanderson team's got a big game with Millbrook, and whoever wins that game could still finish in second place in that conference behind Gibbons. I think Sanderson's got a chance to hang tough with Millbrook. I think that's going to be a good game.
Hopefully, yeah.
Davie County right there at 16th. They played a heck of a game Friday night. They beat Reagan 49-40.
Davie's been putting up a lot of points. The Carney boy, he had a really big game the week before, and he's been putting up a bunch of yards and touchdowns, playing a lot like his older brother.
Yeah, sure is. Cade. Sure is.
Jack knows Cade Carney.
Yep.
You interviewed Tate. You interviewed Tate at the Moxville VTO.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah, I did. It was either me or you. One of us interviewed him.
I think you did.
Yeah.
I think you did.
He was really nice. And like you said, he's having a great year this year. He definitely had, like, when you kind of like when you see a D1 athlete, you can tell just kind of like how they're built. He's very strong, low center of gravity. So I can see he's definitely going to have some ACC offers coming his way. He's only a junior right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he'll definitely have some ACC offers. At least Wake Forest.
Yeah, at least Wake. I think we can rest assured that that'll be the case. Let's look at the top games of the week here. Just kind of scroll through. I hope everybody can read these. I went through earlier today to kind of make them a little bit better size. Avery up at Polk. Butler, Hickory Ridge. That's a big, big game in the Southwestern 4A. Possible that the loser doesn't make the playoffs, which would be a shame for 2 teams that good. Cleveland at Clayton, or actually Clayton at Cleveland. Clinton at East Duplin. East Duplin may be the best 1-3 team in the state. That's going to be a tough game for Clinton. We mentioned Davie in that offense playing Glenn, one of the best defenses. Eastern Guilford at Southern Alamance. That game's going to be on Saturday. Franklinton at Northern Nash is really good, by the way. Goldsboro, Wallace Rose Hill, Green Hope at Hillside, Hendersonville at Pisgah, Hartford at Currituck, High Brighton at East Burke, Holly Springs at Apex Friendship, Keenan at Midway. The game I mentioned that I'll probably be at. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I'm going to be at the Kings Mountain at Shelby game. Nightdale at Heritage, Maiden at East Lincoln. That's always a big game in Catawba County. Manio at Perquimans. Going over to page 2, New Bern at South Central. Jack, that's a game that I'd consider going if I was you. I really think that's going to be a good one. North Buncombe at AC Reynolds. North Buncombe's really good. I don't know if they got enough for AC, but we'll see. Huge game here in 1A. North Stanley at North Rowan. Oak Grove at Ledford. I had a chance to watch Oak Grove on the TV Monday night against Central Davidson. That's going to be a good game. Just kind of scrolling down the list, some games that kind of step out. RS Central at South Point, I think, is a game that could be really good. Salisbury at Central Davidson, that is a must-win for Salisbury. Probably one of the games of the week here in the 4A is Scotland at Pinecrest. I drove down and saw Pinecrest Saturday, and boy, they are phenomenal. Vance at Lake Norman, big game. We mentioned Wake Forest at Rollsville, West Brunswick at Topsail. Winston-Salem Prep at Mount Airy, Dean, and that's kind of in your neighborhood. I thought Winston-Salem Prep would put up a little bit of a better show against East Surrey, but they certainly didn't.
I think East Surrey, they're a lot of people. I don't know. I mean, when they lost to Reevesville, a lot of people was like, "What happened?" But you lost to one of the top programs in the state.
Yeah, no kidding.
No. I mean, period. And East Surrey still got a very good football team, and they wanted to make a point. And you had a Winston-Salem Prep team that came in with a lot of offensive firepower, and they got Clemson commit Zaire Patterson, and East Surrey did well. Mount Airy, here Mount Airy's got a chance, and their quarterback Poindexter broke the. I think maybe I know Mount Airy guys will get mad at me, but I know it's at least 50-year record passing yardage last week, so. Watch out for Mount Airy. When them two play at the end of the season, it's going to be a really good game between Mount Airy and East Surrey. It always is.
I agree, and I think Mount Airy's kind of getting right at the right time. We see Stevie's question right here about any Saturday games. I'm going to give you the rundown right now. In the 1A, you've got Gates County up at Edenton Holmes. The 2A, obviously, we mentioned Kings Mountain at Shelby. You've got Whiteville at St. Paul's, and I don't know where you're at, Stevie, to give you a better idea. Richlands at Croatan is on Saturday. In the 3A, you've got Ashley at New Hanover, Concord at J.M. Robinson, Eastern Guilford at Southern Alamance. That'd be a really good game. Northwest Cabarrus at West Cabarrus, and that's all the games for Saturday.
Yeah. So I'll hit 2 football games this weekend. I'm probably gonna go. I want to see that Carter Wyatt kid at West Brunswick. So
yeah,
when they go to that game,
he's good.
Yeah.
I've been watching him since he was a freshman. I think
he was a kid that stood out at the Wilmington VTO, and he had got some interest, but he hadn't got any offers. And it's like I tell a lot of these kids, just keep working hard. The offers will come, and they come in bunches to him. And he plays for a good coach down there, and Coach Hickman, and he's doing a really good job at West Brunswick, and Carter is a terrific football player.
Yeah, and then 2 teams around me that kind of have been surprisingly good that aren't normally like that good. Croatan and Topsail have had really good starts, so I'm interested. I'll get to see both of them play this weekend.
Well,
that kid going to Wake, and then Croatan, solid.
Well, Jack, both of those teams have been actually pretty good for a couple of years. Croatan was really good last year as well, and Topsail, since Wayne came down from Terry Sanford, they've been pretty solid the last 2 or 3 years as well. Yeah. So I'm not surprised at all about either of those 2 teams.
Yeah.
From the physicality standpoint, I don't know how good either of them would be with prolonged playoff success. I just haven't had a chance to go see them and put the eye test on them, just how tough they are physically. But knowing the kind of coaches they've got, especially at Topsail, I have a feeling there's some pretty gritty teams. So I think they've obviously earned the respect they're getting.
Yeah, and Croatan beat Southwest Onslow, and Southwest Onslow will always be strong. So they may not be having their best year this year, but I think it'll definitely be interesting to see how they do once they venture outside of this conference that they're in.
And not only did they beat Southwest, but in week 1, if I'm not mistaken, they lost a shootout, a really close game with Jacksonville. So, that tells us a lot about how athletic they are. The one, they can withstand a tough physical Southwest, but 2, to have the numbers to go up against a really good one or 3A that's probably a little bit more athletic and speedy than they are.
Yeah, and Jacksonville has athletes like all over the field, so I'm sure Jacksonville completely out-athleted them, but Croatan was able to keep it close with them, so that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Coach Stefan White right there, I've spoken to this gentleman a few times. He is there in the Dallas, Texas area, Allen, Texas. Looks like he's going to be making the move with his family here to the Charlotte, Concord area here next football season. So look forward to trying to get him a job. I've tried to put him in touch with a few coaches to kind of get himself out there. So appreciate you watching tonight, and anybody else who's tuned in. I see we still got a few guys looking. So we appreciate all the comments and everybody coming on. I still can't believe you're not going to Disney, Jack. Come on. The happiest place on earth.
I'm trying. I'm gonna stay home. Not try to go anywhere. I'm gonna try to go to Rock Hill another weekend in April to watch an AAU tournament because that's all the rave right now in the basketball world. So.
My family, we've had annual passes, so we go to Disney all the time. So.
Well, I haven't been since 1978.
I've sure staged a lot since then.
I've probably been 78 times.
Yeah.
And that's just, we've been a lot.
You're looking at Miss not traveling outside of this North Carolina much.
And I haven't really announced it, but coming up soon, I'll have an opportunity to go a little bit more often. So we'll talk about that another day if y'all want.
Great point right there by my mother. We have a football coach in our house, and
Thank God. At least somebody keeps y'all on task.
Yeah, there's no going anywhere right now.
If it wasn't for him, you guys would be going to basketball every week or soccer.
Yeah, I know. Or no, not soccer. I went to that soccer game. I went to that soccer game last night, and it is not my thing. It was intense because I go to Richlands. I was rooting for Richlands, but yeah, we're usually baseball. So,
and I'm just giving y'all a hard time. I like all the sports, but I'm just really rubbing it into you because you've been really anti-football this spring, and got to get you in the right frame of mind.
It's like I dipped into this basketball world and I made all this content on my account for basketball, and now I'm trying to transition into football, and they're like, no, don't do football. And what? Basketball is not a year-round sport. I need to do football now.
No sport should be a year-round sport.
Yes,
basketball seems pretty year-round.
And that's a problem. I mean, it really is. It's a problem because one, it's made for the basketball's not as good, the teams aren't as good. And it's certainly hurting the other sport. And I think it's hurting the other athletes. I think it leads to burnout. And I think a lot of guys, they just get to a certain level and they just don't love it as much as they should because they're doing it every day.
Which is why I love dual sport athletes more than any other athlete.
I promise you, if I was a college
coach, most college coaches, and they want these multi-sport kids because it seems like they can adapt to more. And when they do get to college and focus on their own sport, then they're really tuned in and can make adjustments and stuff.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what, if I was a college basketball recruiter and I found a football player who was a good 6'4", 6'5", that had never played basketball, but he's athletic, you know what? You can coach somebody up to do the right thing. It's hard to coach athleticism, and same for for football. There's all-time stories of guys that played basketball for years that kind of got caught up in the travel circuit or the AAU circuit that's got that long, lean, physical body that's never played football. I'm going to go way back, Dean. I want to go to somebody like Ebenezer Ekubon, who had never played football in his life until like 20 years old or 18 years old. He ends up being like a first-round draft pick. There's something to be said about athleticism and getting out and playing multiple sports. And I say this, there's 200, there's about 125 or 117 FBS programs, but there's probably about 400 programs in the country that play some form of college football with, 117 of them with 85 plus scholarships. Basketball, what do they have? 2, 3, 4, 5 a year tops. I mean, it's a numbers game. I think so many travel coaches have probably brainwashed these guys saying you need to do basketball, where in reality, football is a better chance to go to the next level. But again, I want them to do both. I want them to just be kids. Don't worry about all that other stuff. Just be kids and have fun while you're there, and then worry about where you're going to play when you get down to that part of the road.
Yeah, a great example is Traquavion Smith at Farmville Central. He's playing football for the first time since 8th grade because he just wants to, and he helped them break probably one of the longest losing streaks in the state, Farmville Central.
I bet he plays wide receiver.
Yeah, they do. I mean, he just goes out there
up to him and let him go get it.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I'm sure. I know he's only playing football this 1 year, but I think this 1 year of football will help him at NC State next year playing basketball. So
I'm kidding, and make you more physical.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot go wrong being a dual sport athlete, and I think it should be the move for more kids for sure.
And I'm going to throw out lacrosse as well, Chelsea. And great interview, by the way. And look at those men you were talking to. I mean, there's some physical guys playing lacrosse too. That you can't tell me those guys wouldn't be some great athletes on Coach Buck's football team there, Sanderson. But those guys are doing a great job as well. And that takes probably, I don't want to say more skill, but especially a different kind of skill for lacrosse, because not only do you have the physicality of a football, the endurance of running back and forth all the time like a basketball or a soccer, but you've got to have the eye-hand coordination to sling the ball the way they do. So, I think that's an incredible sport.
Well, I believe Bill Shipley was a star lacrosse player for Weddington as well as football. So, look what it's done for him.
Yep.
Our midfielder, Khalil Lin, he is amazing at doing the draws, so fast, so athletic. Definitely a top player for our Sanderson lacrosse program. But football, too, he plays between running back and quarterback. And I know he had a playoff game Thursday, then a football game Friday, so just him playing those two very different sports, it really shows that his athleticism.
Yeah, no doubt. And Coach White, I see that comment about coaching up Pierce Devon, 6'4", 240 basketball player at UConn, playing football now. So good stuff. I love to hear stories like that. Well, guys, I think I've exhausted my list. I've been really, really busy packing. As you can see, I no longer have an office. I no longer have a desk, so I'm just kind of living out of boxes, getting ready to make a big move. So I don't really have a lot going on tonight. Dina, Jack, Chelsea,
I want to throw out, Chris, you're going to have to help me because, you did do the consecutive streaks, and I want to give out the shout out to the teams that got off that losing streak. I believe Trinity was a team.
South Mecklenburg.
Yeah, South Meck was one. There might be a few more, but
there might be, and I need to do a better job of making sure I write it down when a team comes off that list. But you're right, especially Trinity. I don't think they'd won a game in 2 or 3 years, and South Mecklenburg as well. And South Meck, believe it or not, they're going up to A.L. Brown Friday night in Kannapolis, and I think they've got a chance to make it a game. By no means do I think they're going to go up there and beat the Wonders, but I think that, they're good enough to give Coach Mike Newsom's team a run.
South Meck has another dual sport guy, Bishop Boswell. I'm pretty sure he is a freshman, and he starts on the varsity and basketball team at South Meck. So another dual sport guy that is killing it on both fields and court. So
I got a comment on this. Stevie comments about my helmet collection, and that is something to discuss. I have donated about 150 of them to a collector who is a coach in North Carolina who's going to put them up on display and keep them in a safe place for me. I am keeping, I think, about 18. Some of the ones that mean the most to me from my schools I've coached at, some of my better friends, only because I'm going from about a 4,000 to a 2,000 square foot house. So, places to put them are going to be at a premium.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right.
Well, Dina, any final words? I know we touched on screens.
I was going to mention, you mentioned Salisbury.
Yes.
And they have, if you see the interview, Tally's little intro, Jalen Walker is going to make his announcement on Sunday. He has everybody want him, 4-star, top 100 kid, Clemson, Alabama, UNC, Georgia, Ohio State, Auburn, I think is his top 6. And so he's supposed to make his decision on Sunday where he's going to attend, and looking forward to going down to Salisbury and being there to celebrate with this young man and his awesome choice or whatever it'll be.
More about him, and I have, and I think I know where he's going to, by the way, Dina. You may as well, but I think I know where he's going. I have lunch every Wednesday with Mike London and a few of the Rowan County All-Stars, as I like to call it, some guys that's coached me and some coaches and writers and just influential people in Rowan County. And Mike London, who's a Hall of Fame North Carolina Athletic Association Hall of Fame sports writer, been at this since the early 90s. He said that Jalen gave him the best quote that he has ever heard. He wants to go to college to become either a dentist or an orthodontist. Incredible academic, a very smart young man. And being that he wants to be a dentist, Mike London said that he told him that his goal in life is to knock a man's teeth out on Sunday and put them back in on Monday.
That's pretty funny.
Well, you look at Jalen, he's a big college specimen of he's a perfect linebacker. He's got strength, speed, and whatever school gets him is getting just not only a great football player, but a great young man. I've enjoyed covering him, and he's been awesome to talk to and cover, and I'm glad that I know he's anxious to get this decision over. I mean, a lot of these kids are. It's funny when they're real young, they're begging for attention. They're like, why am I not getting any offers? And by the time they're late junior and senior year, they're like, man, I get tired of all these people bothering me. Coaches are calling, media is calling, fans are putting up everything on social media. So it's a funny process because it goes full circle. So I'm sure he's anxious to get this part over.
For real.
No kidding. No question with that. Well, guys, I think that's it. Chelsea, you've been quiet down there. Anything from you? Any good news?
No. I'll be looking out for that commitment, but nothing else going on.
No prom this spring?
No, I'm a sophomore, so it's usually a junior, senior thing.
I think she's wanting to go to the lacrosse championships. I think
hoping
she may
for that.
Lacrosse, and I don't know. I don't know if Jack's wanting to go to soccer or what. If he had enough soccer or high school.
Saturday, I'm going to Croatan to support the Wildcats.
Is it too early, Chelsea or Jack, either one of you? You're a sophomore. Is it too early to start thinking about where you're going to college yet?
I have ideas. Not trying to commit myself to any school, get hopes down, but I have ideas.
Okay.
I've been wanting to go to Carolina since I
Yeah.
was about 4 years old. So,
That's
but
what I'm working towards.
that would be pretty. That would be pretty crazy if me,
Yeah.
Chelsea, and Tally all went to Carolina. That would be crazy.
I know a guy, and I'm going to tell you, it might not. You might think it's out of reach, but don't ever discount maybe working for the football team as a student assistant and being a student manager or something to that level. To be, I see guys that do that all the time that end up in sports management and coaching and all sorts of jobs, and that's a good way to earn some money in the school process. So that's something to think about. My good friend Adrian Snow, he has created over the years a program of people that do things for his team, managerial stuff, more than anything, digital stuff, especially stuff you excel out, Jack, with the computer stuff, film, programs and different like that for the football. And I think he said he's gotten like 5 or 6 of them full rides in college working for D1 football teams. And that's certainly a thing to think about, especially with the skill sets that I think you two possess. So keep at it.
Yeah. Should be fun. All right.
One more quote.
I'm teaching little brother too, so if you want to hop in, Jack.
I think I'm going to stick to basketball and baseball because I need to get good at those before I become a 3-sport athlete, to be honest. So
Yeah, I got to start too.
All right, here you guys. Well, hey, we're going to call it the night. I appreciate everybody for joining us. Sorry I was a little bit late, but had to take care of some family stuff. Had to see my young man. Had to take him to Cobra Kai tonight. But anyway, strike hard.
Japanese steakhouse, Chris?
No, actually, I did that last night. But we may go back again.
I didn't get a snap.
Well, I try to feel like I'm not rubbing it in. We ought to try to go together before I move. But anyway.
Yeah, for real.
They all at the particular one in Winston, they all know me by my first name and get great service because they know that I tip well.
That's funny.
All right, guys. Well, hey, y'all appreciate the hard work. Appreciate everybody that joins and checks us out. Keep following Jack on that Instagram page that he's running for NCPreps. How can they follow that, Jack?
Go into Instagram and search up ncpreps.rivals. We have about almost 1,300 followers.
All right. Good job. That's about how many I'm away from hitting 10,000, I think, on my Twitter. But
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I looked today. I was like, wow, I must have had an explosion. I have over 11,000 now. I'm like,
you need to
famous.
You need to push a few of those followers my way, but no, it's all good. I got plenty. All right, Chelsea, Jack, Dina, we appreciate y'all. We'll catch y'all next week.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, y'all.
All right.